From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good Friday morning. It's 6 o'clock. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. And good morning to Miller, the man here with the weekend weather forecast.
Well, the weekend, temperature-wise, is going to cool down. It actually didn't get as hot yesterday as we thought. It's because of that surface smoke.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, the surface smoke is going to stick around again today, trying to alleviate across the weekend. Still going to be hazy, but not as thick as yesterday and today. Look at it right there. You can see it, courtesy of the Stockman Bank weather cam. The air quality, another day today where it's going to be poor. Sorry about that, folks. 63 right now at the airport. Humidity at 45%. Winds out of southwest at about 8 miles an hour. Crunch some numbers. Yesterday, we thought we'd get into the low 90s. Did not get there because of the air quality, because of the surface smoke out there. And the highs that I'm going to give you today, we could knock a few degrees off of those as well with that surface smoke. It all depends. It's all about timing. But 87 yesterday for the high, 59 for the low. We didn't see any rain yesterday. We do have a chance to see some rain maybe later today and tomorrow. We need the rain. The latest drought conditions came out yesterday. We haven't improved any and we haven't gotten worse. We've stayed the same over the last week, but we still are aching for some rain out there. So bring it on. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to have a lot of accumulation off of these showers and maybe some storms that are going to roll through today and tomorrow. Right now, we're looking at temperatures mainly in the 50s and 60s. Highs today in the 80s, and we'll try to get into the 90s. Miles City, if you hit 94, that'll be a record. Sheridan, if you hit 98 today, it's a big if. That would be a record today as well. No records for Billings today. High getting up to about 89. We do see the clouds building up a little bit later on today to give us a chance for much needed rain on this National TV Dinner Day.
And I'm glad it's days like this. I'm glad Google knows what I'm talking about because I typed in microwave meal penguin. Do you remember the kid cuisines? Kid cuisine. Maybe that was something here. I have a picture of it on my computer. It's
like I know that. Sure. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Those were the ones I liked.
Yes, I remember that. So, yeah.
And it says they're in stock at Walmart.
Still
so
around,
I really think I need to go look down that frozen aisle section because, again, getting the kids to eat some days is such a challenge.
Have they moved the frozen aisle section back in Walmart? I know they were shifting things around. Is it back?
I don't know. I haven't been in the last week. The new flooring they've worked.
It looks really good.
It's great.
Here on Grand Avenue, it looks really, really good.
Yeah, I feel
King Avenue rather.
Right. Yeah. I just feel for the workers because you see the customers walking around frustrated. Well, where is this at now? Well, where is this at now?
Where's the ice cream? This is where the ice cream used to be. It's over there near the socks now. Temporarily. So.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all worth it. It's going to look great once they're all done there.
It really does look good. Good job. And I have a buddy that works out there as an assistant manager. So they do they do a great job out there.
Yeah, they do. All right, Miller. Well, thank you so much for the good TV dinner and Walmart chat. I'll get on to
That's what I'm here
stuff,
for, yes.
The news. All right, thank you. Our top story this morning, as we prepare to mark the 20th anniversary of September 11th, survivors are reflecting on how they, the nation, and the world have changed 2 decades later. The U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan just 2 weeks ago and the Taliban's return to power further complicates the emotions of the day and further divides an already divided nation. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more.
20 years after the September 11th attacks, the world will pause to reflect and remember. But Paul Conlon lives with the memory every single day.
There is something about anniversaries that, I guess, focus it. You do remember it a little more.
Conlon was an FDNY captain on 9/11, one of the first responders who converged on Lower Manhattan after the attack. His crew was moving towards the burning buildings when one of his men was killed just before the South Tower came down.
It was just a matter of, running and not really knowing what was collapsing.
Tomorrow, the president will be here at the World Trade Center site to remember, too. The nation united after 9/11. 20 years later, there is deep division. Jack Grancola's pregnant wife died when her hijacked plane crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
This country was united from sea to shining sea. And today, maybe now would be a good time to let the divisiveness drop, let the knee-jerk vitriol drop. Just take a minute to pause and look deep into your own soul.
Nearly 3,000 people were killed on 9/11, making it the deadliest foreign attack on U.S. soil. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
President Biden also plans to attend commemorations in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and at the Pentagon. You can catch live coverage of 9/11 commemorations throughout the morning tomorrow right here on Q2. In the latest COVID-19 news, Yellowstone County's health officer is sounding the alarm as COVID-19 case numbers explode locally. There were nearly 2,000 confirmed cases in August alone, more than in April, May, June, and July combined. Billings hospitals are at their highest capacity of patients in 9 months, and more than 300 people in Yellowstone County have died from the virus. At a press conference yesterday, John Felton pleaded with the community to get their shots.
What we need to do is this: encourage everyone age 12 and over to get vaccinated. Take science-based steps to prevent the spread of the pandemic virus and prevent infection among those too young for vaccination and those who are at high risk for severe illness. Reducing COVID-19 infections will keep our students healthy and safe at school. Reducing COVID-19 spread will keep workers safe and at their jobs. And reducing COVID-19 transmission will support our businesses by assuring a healthy, vibrant consumer base.
Felton said there are currently more than 1,500 active cases in the county. That includes people who had been vaccinated. However, he says those who get their shots are much less likely for severe sickness. This as new confirmed COVID-19 cases nearly doubled across School District 2 in just the past week. A total of 94 more students and 13 staff members tested positive. 3 elementary classes are now learning online from home after COVID clusters were confirmed. That means more than 10% of a classroom tests positive or shows symptoms. But Superintendent Greg Upham says he has no intentions to move to remote learning district-wide.
There's no indicator staging us to go district-wide remote. We've told our teachers, to be prepared in case your classroom, we have to do a remote flip like we did last year periodically. We didn't do it very often, but it's just being prepared. I think what we're seeing is the masking is helping, obviously, and those that were able to have vaccinations, I think that's helping with that age group and staff. So as I said, we're holding our own pretty well, actually, for the number of cases that are occurring in the community. Not to say that it couldn't impact a school greatly, but right now, no, we're doing okay.
Upham also weighed in on potential changes to indoor sporting events. He said it's a challenge to manage that, but we have large enough venues that people can physically distance. President Joe Biden unveiled a controversial and aggressive vaccination plan he hopes will begin to put the pandemic behind us. The president's action plan mandates that private sector companies with more than 100 workers require them to be vaccinated or test for the virus every week. Workers at health facilities receiving Medicare or Medicaid money will also have to be fully vaccinated. Republicans are blasting the approach, including the governor of Arkansas, who says federal government mandates are not the answer. Under the new push, the Biden administration is increasing testing supplies and making at-home kits cheaper. A Billings Superfund cleanup site will be under investigation, and EPA officials believe it could require more mitigation efforts. The concern centers around a chemical plume that started in the 1960s and stretches an estimated 3 miles from the 700 block of Central Avenue in a northeast direction. Q2's David J. has more.
Contaminated soil was removed from this site on Central Avenue in 2007. The concern has been about PCE, a chemical once used in dry cleaning. And now, this site is on the EPA Superfund National Priorities List.
That essentially means it is among sites across the nation that have contamination concerns posing significant human health environmental risk. EPA proposes and then adds site to the NPL when we feel that there is a risk at the site and that it is time to conduct an investigation into any possible risks at the site.
The DEQ started assessing the site in 1993, with more investigating from 1999 to 2001. In 2007, the EPA removed and disposed the contaminated soil. The EPA proposed putting the Billings PCE site on the list in 2020.
That was with support of the City of Billings and then Montana Governor Steve Bullock. Current Montana Governor Riverstone helped, and the Rocky Mountain Tribal Leaders Council to gain their support for adding the site to the Superfund list. This is all done on possible contamination, possible adverse effects to human health and the environment. But at this time, EPA has no reports of adverse health effects.
The plan now is to investigate and hear from the public.
Sampling different areas within the PCE plume that we've designated as a Superfund site. And so once we get the information back from that sampling, that will help us come up with a remediation plan, which will be the next step, and just ensuring that if there are contaminants we find, that they won't be a threat to anyone living in the area or just outside of it.
A link to the EPA and information about the Billings PCE Superfund site is in our story at ktvq.com. In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Thank you very much, David. An investigation is underway after a man's body was pulled from the Yellowstone River. Construction crews working on the new bridge near Dover Park spotted the body, and deputies recovered it yesterday. Officials say there are no obvious signs of foul play, but the medical examiner will determine the cause of death. According to the Yellowstone County Sheriff, it does not appear the body had been in the water very long. Stick with us here on Montana This Morning.